Hello dudes, I have not made a video in about 3 weeks, so I apologise for that. Reason I haven't made a video in 3 weeks, basically if I'm being honest, um, I haven't felt really that, everybody watches me, that I just review TNA, that's all I do, because that's just what I like in wrestling. But there's really been nothing to put on YouTube I felt watching the programme worthy of making a video, taking up my time to do so. Basically, I have felt recently really frustrated with TNA. I'm not going to come on here and rip it because nearly every shooter on YouTube just comes on here and recklessly just tears TNA apart. The difference with me is I will criticise TNA and all the rest of it. I do this because I want them to succeed. Okay, I'll criticise them because I care. The other people just come on could rip it because it is TNA, it's competition in WWE, you know, it, and all the rest of it, just because they want to see him fail and yada yada and the rest of it. Anyway, so the things that have annoyed me, I'm going to address. Um, this playing in the background is one of them. No Impact this week after a pay-per-view. So you basically, No Surrender was a good pay-per-view. Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy nearly killed each other. It was an awesome match. But this just kills the momentum straight away. And this is TNA. I mean, I know Spike. It was primarily Spike TV that pulled Impact this week, saying there's no point putting up against the American football. But for fans, that's kind of bullshit. Now we have to wait 10 days to watch it and follow up. Anyway, that's just a minor thing. Secondly, following the whole effing show, right, which I personally thought was great. TNA have just been on a drastically downward spiral. It's been awful. It's been hard to watch. You know, the past impacts after the whole effing show have been dreadful. And you watch the whole effing show, and it got plaudits pretty much across the board. For a longer show than a normal impact, it held its rating more or less along the board. So you'd think that TNA would look at that and think that worked. We'll follow that format. No, they've gone completely. When you think they've turned the corner, they've gone straight back to what they were doing, which made people turn off. And that was overly using Hogan. God, I hate that old bastard. Overly using Hogan. Too much Bischoff. We don't need Kevin Nash. We don't need Sting. We don't need Jeff Jarrett. But they have once again been thrown into the limelight. And, the thing that really pissed me off, I mean, I almost threw the remote the other week, is it was Jeff Jarrett versus, Kevin Nash? It was Kevin Nash or Sting. I think it was Kevin Nash. And before the match, Jeff Jarrett was asking Joe, I need your help, which was fair enough. Joe says he didn't want any part of it, and all the rest. Jeff Jarrett was getting beat down, so you'd think Joe come in for the save. Why did Hogan come out? Why? Fuck off. It is like they're repeatedly and recklessly trying to push Hogan. He's supposed to be a general manager. He's not an active wrestler. He sucks in the ring, always have done, and now he's old. Give me a break. I mean, Hogan comes out, he gets halfway down the ring, and then they bring Joe out. What's the point in that? Just to get Hogan on TV? That really annoyed me. Really did. This whole fortune thing, it was good when it started, now it's just taking a piss. I think the thing that they're lacking is a world champion. I know they've got AJ's TV title, or the TV champion, but there's no world champion now. You look at, the great groups, or the great factions. Evolution had Triple H with Ric Flair. Orton and Batista was on a major run at the time. Well, Batista not so much. But NWO had the three biggest guys, or the two biggest guys to start off with in wrestling at that time. And then you had Hogan, who was world champion. I do think they missed that, impact player, if you will. AJ is just being booked horribly, so you can't really class him as one. But yeah, and also the angle that they're coming off with, they're bringing in people from other companies and taking up their time. So I guess they have no problem with Ric Flair, though. It makes no sense. It's The booking has been piss poor just lately. The storylines have made no sense. They've petered out. This whole they thing with a base intrigued me to start off with, and then when you realise that it has to be stretched out for Bound for Glory, you just think, why didn't you pitch this later on in the year? You know, it started off such an early stage 2 months ago, or something like that, and it's just dragging out now to my opinion, an obvious Hogan and Bischoff heel turn at Bound for Glory, where they reveal themselves as they. Uh, but excuse me. But yeah, it's just annoying. And the final thing that really pissed me off, I recently bought from Kayfabe Commentaries the Dixie Carter youshoot. She talks so much bullshit. I mean, I like Dixie Carter, I do, but don't lie to us. Seriously, I mean, she ducked every main question. The thing that really just pulling points from it that annoyed me the most in that was she sat there and she had the nerve to turn around to everybody who was there and say, TNA is about the fans. We listen to our fans. We put our fans first. Alright, so explain to me, you put your fans first, you listen to your fans, you are so in tune with your fans. These are the same fans who in their droves have chanted, fire Russo, Russo's still got a job. That is a freaky fucking relationship them two had. Are you so blink of vision, Dixie, that you absolve Russo from every amount of blame for poor booking and poor writing? You know, I mean, it's no coincidence. I mean, I'm not as hard on Russo as other people are, but I mean, come on, he's got to take some blame somewhere along the line. Okay, he is head of creative for TNA. Yes, his ideas are filtered through Hogan and Bischoff, Hogan mainly, but he's still there. Otherwise, what is his job? You know, and that's the fans chanted for his head. They were never given it. He never lost his job. Right? Fans have complained in God knows how many that they don't want Hogan, they don't want Bischoff, they didn't want the Nasty Boys, they want the young guys to be main eventing, they don't want to see the veterans. All this still happens in TNA. So, do you only selectively listen to the fans, the few that tell you what you want to hear? Also, she goes on and on about, well, if you look at the minutes, I mean, if you were WWE and WWE were looking at the minutes, all right, you could say, well, that's smart. Why is it smart? Because WWE pull 3.4s, 3.5s. TNA pull barely a 1 in the ratings, okay? What good is it to look at the minute by minutes when you pull such a little number in ratings? I mean, surely you'd think, all right, we're only getting 1.0 or 1.2 on a good week. All right, so we want to expand our audience. So why don't we do things differently to what this relatively small audience is responding to? Or take what they're responding to, emphasize it more. More people watch the Guns beer money matches. Put the Guns higher up the card, emphasize them more. Give them mic time, it's not rocket science. People tune off for Jeff Jarrett and Sting. Look at the ratings, TNAWrestlingNews.com, go look at them. They give you the minute by minutes and plays by plays. Look at the ratings. So that's bullshit. She doesn't listen to the ratings. People turn away for Hogan speeches. Oh, anyway, there is a lot more that I want to say, but it's really late. I'm warm and I can't be asked. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll probably have a couple more videos up this week. Don't know if they'll necessarily strictly be about TNA. Also, just like to say, I think it was yesterday or the day before the 70th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. Uh, much respect for those guys. It was the crucial, pivotal battle of World War II, and anybody who says any different is a dick, because it was. And that's no disrespect to anyone else who fought in the wars, any veterans. I respect them all, American, Russians, it doesn't matter. Everybody pulled together and fought in that war, but for the Battle of Britain heroes and the people who fought in that, the few, as Winston Churchill named them, yeah, much respect for them. Okay, see you later, guys, and I'm out.